Yes, people, what's going on? Welcome back to United View. Welcome to another morning view, man. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you lot ain't done that already. Straight away, morning fam. R14, big up to you. Kristen says morning all. Big up UV fam says bigger. Owen is late.
I'm never late. I'm never late. I'm never a KG that comedian. Yeah, I'm never forgetting about shows. Oh, Flex. I mean, you know, just
disgraceful. Absolutely disgraceful.
You know, it's bad when the first words of the Flex and KG show are "Gotta hold my hands up." You know, I got to hold my hands up. Bit of a mistake. Oh, Kenny, what was it once again?
Poor, and I mean poor.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. And it's just KG catching strays, man. He's not catching strays. He's catching directs, bro. They're meant for him. Strays are things that just took a wrong course and accidentally hit, man. No, straight down there. Yeah.
Do you know how serious the hate has to be for Arsenal that he forgot like the show he did every Tuesday?
He forgot his own team. Man forgot his own team and then got 3-0. Did it for no reason. Mad.
Yeah.
Crazy. Everyone was tuned in last night, of course. But it's time to talk Manchester United, of course, because that's what we do here on United View. Yeah. And we're going to talk about Victor Osimhen because his wage demands, his demands have been revealed. We know what it is he's looking for. Of course, yesterday was a lot about Matheus Cunha and Liam Delap talking about, talks beginning for Cunha, etc. And we have to remember this this Osimhen thing is still there. You know what I mean? Which way will Man United go on this? It's very interesting. I know who I would rather, that's for sure. Matic. Oh, that's a good one, isn't it? Matic. Yeah, there
Matic.
You go. Shorten it. There you go. Matic. Nemanja Matic has been speaking. He's got some big quotes with The Athletic. He's done a piece ahead of our game against Lyon with the one and only Andy Mitten. So we're going to get stuck into that. And of course, a little bit of a look ahead, as is always in these shows, to that game on Thursday. And Dallo's been speaking as well. So there's a lot to unpack. There's a lot. Before we do, thank you for the contribution. Big up to you. And then you put another contribution and also says, ready to give United my life savings for Osimhen. Oh, yeah. Life savings.
How much have you got?
I know.
Yeah.
If you've got the best part of £55 million plus the 180k a week wages, which we're about to discuss, then fair enough. Fair enough, bro.
You've saved well. You've saved really well. Fair play. You know what I mean? That's impressive.
Exactly. And Red Brown says, talk about Osimhen wages, Flex. We're about to get right there. Owen, take it away. What we got?
Yes. So Victor Osimhen, the search for a striker continues for Manchester United. Obviously, there's been talks about Delap the last few days, but as Flex mentioned, Osimhen seems to be this other option that's not completely ruled out to the level of Gyökeres, etc. Rob Dawson has said that Victor Osimhen is targeting a move to the Premier League or Juventus once his spell at Galatasaray ends. He is available for £55.5 million, and his demands would be around £180,000 a week after tax. So again, probably more pre-tax. Manchester United, therefore, prefer Liam Delap in part due to this, i.e., his wages might be a bit of a problem. We're trying to get the wage bill down. Therefore, Osimhen might be a bit unrealistic. In addition to that, Ben Jacobs, of course, knows a lot when it comes to Saudi Arabia. He's got very strong Saudi sources, Fleck. Says Saudi Arabia are leading the race to sign Victor Osimhen, and the player is very open to the move. Manchester United also have Osimhen on their radar, but would need outgoings to finance such a deal and potential to send a player the other way. The only way United could easily strike a deal for Osimhen at this stage is if Napoli reignite their interest in Alejandro Garnacho. United's priority is currently Liam Delap. So you're looking at now sort of multiple outlets, multiple journalists, all saying the same thing, that the priority, the more likely one is Liam Delap, which that in itself is significant because that sounds quite briefish. That they've all been told, it's going to be Liam Delap. Don't start talking about Osimhen much, you know what I mean? Because it's not really, Osimhen. So and then they go back. So you're saying Osimhen's not going to happen, but we're not saying that. We're just saying that a lot has to happen for Victor Osimhen. So we got to have to sell some people, and we're not sure who that would necessarily be. If Napoli want Garnacho, we'll have a conversation. We'll talk about that. So there's a lot more hurdles to the Osimhen one. Not impossible, but a lot more
Definitely not impossible.
Whereas Delap's a lot more straightforward.
Yeah. If we just keep it to Osimhen for this bit, that bit there about the reigniting of the interest in Garnacho, I think a lot does hinge on that. If I'm being, I agree with that. I can see why that's a thing, because we know they were there in January. Facts, they were there, as well as Chelsea. There was big conversations going on about Garnacho. We nearly lost him. You know what I'm saying? That sounds a bit morbid, that, but yeah, so sounds a bit over.
What happened?
A bit extra. I mean, we really lost him. No, you get what I mean. But yes, he nearly left. I think that there was definitely conversations there. Well, I say nearly left. We don't know.
Nearly left us.
He nearly left us. He nearly left us. We nearly lost him. Jesus. Sorry, we're dressed in black, but yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think he could have left. I do. I really do. He could have left us. But if they don't come back in for him, I don't see how we make it happen. Personally, I still want us to, because, well, in terms of money, if you go all out for him, he'd just take up a serious chunk of whatever budget we've got, right? So even if we didn't sell Garnacho, I still think there's money to do it, but it would severely affect the rest of the stuff we could do, which I don't think they're willing to compromise on. And on top of that, just the age profile and the wages, I think United are trying to stay away from that stellar, big, glamorous, which is what he would be, and quality, by the way. But they're trying to go down the road of them Liam Delap type players, of this Mateta vibe, 40 million, of these types of up and coming strikers, Ekitike potentially. So for me, I want someone like Osimhen. I want ready made. I don't want to wait, but I understand that this is the way they're going to go. I don't think it's the right way to go. I still think we should get a ready made player, someone experienced. But yeah, I think it will probably be Liam Delap. It makes the most sense out of everything, doesn't it, to them?
Yeah, I mean, you're right in the sense, theoretically, you go, well, it's not like Man United couldn't afford this deal. It's not like it's being ruled out like we cannot afford that, because, like you said, if it was as it had been several years ago, where it's like, right, we're just going to put all of our money in one player. That's what we're going to do. We're just going to put all of our money in what we just need a striker. Then, to be fair, I think they probably would look at the Osimhen one, go, right, our whole budget will go on it, or the majority will go on it, because they're saying Delap's 40 million, so they're saying Osimhen available for around 55. It's not a huge jump up, significant, but it's not a huge jump up. And the wages, you could make that happen. Some players are going to go. Rashford's going to go in the summer. Etc. Ericsson and others are going to go in the summer. Lindelof. So you go. I suppose you could afford it, but I suppose it depends how many players do you want to bring in, how much work need to be done.
True.
And 55 minutes, it's not a bad price. Although, and to be fair, a lot of this Osimhen stuff, I don't know if you've seen this too, Flex, like whenever all of this stuff comes out, particularly linking him to United and maybe some of these other moves that aren't the Saudi move, you then a couple of days later get the pushback going, well, that's largely agent driven. That's largely agent driven, because what he wants to avoid is what happened last summer. Last summer for him, Osimhen was a mess, because the expectation was he is leaving Napoli. He's going to leave Napoli. A couple of years prior, he'd had he was the best striker in Serie A, scoring all of these goals. They've won the title, and now he was going to get his big move. That's where he was going to go. The season after they'd won the title wasn't so great, but he was going to get this big move. He wasn't in favor with like Conte or what have you. He was going to move, and then the summer went on and on and on, and he didn't. But he was already frozen out because they were working on getting Lukaku from Chelsea, and they were, trying to make things happen with that. And obviously, they're bringing other players. They brought in McTominay, they brought in Billy Gilmore, and all this stuff was happening. And everyone's like, well, we're assuming that Osimhen's going to go. And then it got right to the end of the transfer window, and it just didn't happen. They thought he was going to go Saudi, fell through. The only reason he's at Galatasaray right now is because they ran out of time. And the Turkish window closes later than everyone else. And it was like, right, you've got to leave. You've got to go somewhere. So it's like, right, well, I guess it's been a disaster. I'll go to Galatasaray for a year on loan, but I'm not staying because let's be honest, I'm better than this. So I should be going somewhere else. And then he sacked his agents because of it, because he didn't get that move. So I feel like his new representatives are like, we are not letting that happen again. Like, we will get you your move.
The move that you want, yeah.
It is a striker's market. Loads of people across Europe want a striker. You're a great striker. And we're going to link you to all of these teams that will need one. We're going to make this move happen wherever it may be. So I feel like Manchester United are being linked there. And then also the other side of it, there is this, like you said, this sort of going, well, it's not impossible to do. So,
yeah,
okay, yes, we'll look at it, but it's not top of the list because there are other deals that would be more financially beneficial to us. And when you say it like that, that's when when you're 13th in the league and then you're talking about transfers that are financially beneficial, maybe not so much quality beneficial, that does rub people the wrong way, doesn't it? Because they're like, who gives a shit? You
just need the quality. Yeah.
But this is how we've got ourselves in the position we find ourselves in, because we get close to the window and we start panicking and we're like, just give the money. Just give 180k a week. Just do it. Fast forward a couple of years, we'll go, why did we do that? Oh, yeah. We shouldn't have done that. So it is difficult.
I think like with the wages thing, right? When you say like Eriksen, Lindelof, and who was the other person? Rashford, Sancho,
Anthony.
That's a lot. Anthony, like hopefully on a permanent, but definite permanent is like 150k a week straight away. What's his name? Eriksen, right? But you have to be careful how you do it, because when these players leave, obviously they need replacing. So Eriksen leaving, like, we need another central midfielder. Now it depends whether you go, nah, it's fine because that space is taken up by, I don't know, Sekou Kone, because he's already here, so he just takes that spot on the bench because it's going to be the integrating season. So then that's a feasible. You can take that 150 million and spend it on Osimhen. But if you try to go and buy, let's not say Adam Wong, he'll cost a lot of money, but say you try to go and buy another central midfielder for 35 million, or because we have to do other stuff, and you have to give him sort of 80, 90, 100 grand a week. It isn't as transferable as like, well, Lindelof, if I add up Lindelof, Sancho, and this, that, and the other, do you know what I mean? Because these spaces need backfilling. We need other forwards because we've lost Anthony, Rashford. We're going to lose Lindelof, but then you can say, all right, cool. Well, then you say Heaven takes his spot. You've already got him. Johnny Evans is going to leave, but he wasn't around the squad anyway. Played like a few times this season, so you could just do without anyway. It just depends what sort of how you're petitioning the money versus what positions we've decided we have to go for. We've decided as fans what we think we need, but what are they really going for and how strong are they going for each one? For me, the striker's the non-negotiable. That's why I'm like, if you need to spend a bit more to get the Osimhen, I'd do that and spread the rest out a little bit. Do you know what I mean? I've got Ahmad to come in the 10. I've got Kobe, if he stays and all that stuff, to be in the 10 and learn that position and get better. I want to cash in on Garnacho, so there's something that can happen there for Cunha, or if that helps us get Osimhen. Bruno can play there if you go and get another central midfielder who could play deeper. There's a lot. Mason Mount, forever, how long he's fit for. You're still going to probably keep Xerxes. There's stuff going on in the 10s. So I'm all action, all in for that striker. I just want to see us be really ambitious and try and go for it. I wouldn't be mad, but I do understand. I do get it, though. I do get it. It's just not what they're on. And I'm not going to be that fan that's saying he's a scrub. How could we get a guy from Ipswich? Are we serious? I don't do that. I'm not on that. I don't agree with that. I just know what I want, and I want it to be an experienced striker.
Do you know what it is? Yeah, I think this is where the tension also comes from. Is because people have watched Arsenal play last night. Obviously, your reaction on the Football Flex. Scan, subscribe. Link in the video description below.
Yeah, shout out everyone.
Yeah, I think people saw that last night, and obviously being 13th in the league and seeing how far off we are from those top teams, there is this, I think, feeling of we've got to close the gap. Not to say that it's going to clip. We have a summer and we're suddenly competing for a title or top 4 or anything like that. I think it's more just like the gap's so big. what we can't afford to do is have another summer where we get even further behind. Basically, we can't afford for that gap to get even bigger. You know, if as long as we have a summer where even if we keep the gap similar, or we just shorten it a little bit. But what we can't afford to do, like there is a shift happening in the Premier League at the moment. City, are they going to be what they were? Liverpool are going to win the title this year, and people are saying that's actually one of sort of the worst teams to win the title in a while because they're not that great.
Yeah.
They're not that great, but actually there's just been no competition. Everyone's been kind of bad this season. So if you can just close the gap a little bit and get involved in that conversation a bit more, that's good. But what we can't do is just, you know, we can't have a summer where we go, you know, we signed some good young players, but we're still actually terrible. We're still, you know, bottom half. We can't afford that again, basically.
Yeah.
So there is this feeling of, well, you've got someone like Osimhen on the market, and actually there's a release clause there. In previous summers,
get a ball to show a bit.
You could go get him. Yeah, you can maybe
unique opportunity. Don't
that.
Normally happen. Falling out of favour at Napoli has to move. Wants the Premier League. We've heard that maybe Champions League isn't the deciding factor because of a club the size of us, etc. We haven't spoken about Ruben in any of this as well, about what he would want from his striker, because we're like, well, I say we, you know, I'm of the opinion that, you know, Osimhen's definitely better than Delap. I think we could probably all agree on that. But, you know, what does he want? When you look at egos and reputation of players and, you know, the character, I'm not saying Osimhen's a bad egg at all. I don't think that at all. But would he prefer someone young, more adaptable, learning? He's only had one season in the Prem, so that sort of humble nature of, yes, boss, I'll listen. Yep, no problem. There is no sort of superstar, big character there. And that obviously the scrutiny happens because he would be young and playing for Man United. Look at Højlund. But there would be a different type of pressure in a different context. That would be really, really clear with someone like Osimhen, that he's a superstar already, isn't he? The mask, the connotations around him. He's got goals where he's got. So that expectation of ready-made comes with another side where it's like, okay, there's huge pressure. Whereby someone like Delap, he might think, I can mold that. He can grow with us. He can grow with me as a young coach. He can grow with this young team I'm trying to assemble. It depends what Ruben thinks. Does he prefer someone who's played in the league for a whole year? So he's like, you know what? He knows the league. I like that already. That gives me a good basis. You know what I mean? What would Ruben prefer? When you look at Gyökeres, you know, of the type of striker, that's what Ruben kind of created. Between Osimhen and Delap, who's closer to Gyökeres? Well, you'd say Osimhen because he just gets loads of goals as well. So he's done and dusted. But the actual mechanics of the playing style, you might probably say Delap's a bit more like, you know, hold the ball up, you know, back to goal, do the ugly stuff. Whereas Osimhen's probably all action running that way towards goal and just, you know, finishing out of nothing, no backlift, bang, goal, sharp, running beyond, different types. So, yeah, man, I don't know. I don't think we're going to get Osimhen. So I ain't trying to be like, oh, come on, why are you making this mistake? I already know. I already can see where it's going and why it's going.
Yeah, like I said, it's very significant that now you're getting 4-ish journalists over the last few days all got sort of going, Delap's the priority. You know, it's gonna be Delap. That's the one they feel that they can get. They can get quickly. Simple deal to do. I think they don't want to have a situation where United are dragging through deals throughout the summer as well. So that one just feels likely. And because they want to do it. So for instance, say like Delap, they could theoretically sign him late June, early July. That could be done that quick. And and with the Osimhen one a bit longer. I mean, like people are saying, we've got a bunch of super chats, but like, you know,
okay.
You know, if 180 grand after tax, I mean, if you're suggesting that UK, you need to take like half of it, don't you? So that's what, like 360, close to. Man United ain't doing that.
No chance. No. When you break it down, because I forgot about the after tax bit. No chance, actually. Like, no chance. That'll break our wage structure. We're just getting rid of Casemiro at 350.
He'd be the highest paid player at the club.
Yeah, no. Do you know what? We ain't getting Osimhen 1,000,000%.
Yeah.
Like 1,000,000% not getting him.
If those demands are legitimate, then it's not happening. It's not.
There's a reason why it's priorities to lap mate.
Yeah.
Red Baron, we did just talk about Osimhen's wages for sure. And Red Baron also says any player can possibly happen, even Messi. Yeah, but come on. Come on, Red Baron.
Messi's not possible. No,
Messi's
for
not
Manchester
possible.
United. Yeah.
Exactly. Aminor says, I see what you did there. Rasmus, learn from Moreno how to score goals.
His finish was great last night. It was brilliant.
Brilliant finish, mate. Mikel Merino,
Yeah.
mate. He's got like, what, 6 goals in 10 games or something like that?
Something like that, yeah. Ridiculous.
Meanwhile, we can't hit a barn door with our £108 million strike force. Mad.
Now, is that because like people will go, well, that's because Arsenal make chances for whoever's playing up front. So if Rasmus was in that team, I don't think Rasmus only scores that goal last night, to be honest.
No. But then Rasmus has scored some finishes where
I know he scored all types of goals, but that was more last night. That was more of a technical.
Yeah, because he's going backwards. Like Miles Skelly's giving it to him at quite with a bit of pace and quite close, and he's got to kind of go back to kick it forward. Like, it's a great bit of skill. It is. It's a great goal. Aminor says, Owen, we are miles behind Arsenal. I feel sick, to be honest. 100%. Watching that game last night, you just see the levels, man. How far, and that's them.
Well, it's funny. It's funny because we should have beat them at Old Trafford.
I know. That just shows you styles make fights, isn't it? Like they say in boxing, it's like just because Everton got a draw, hung on in there. Arsenal made some changes. It's a closer game, but in different contexts, under the lights, first game, quarter final at home,
in a big match,
in a big match. Do you know what I mean? But if we had to play Arsenal in those circumstances, I know FA Cup was like that's theirs. But Champions League under the lights, Saka back, this, that, and the other. We might have got the same treatment under those. Well,
there's a difference. There's a difference, isn't there? Like that was last night was their big night under the lights, Champions League, Real Madrid at home. Our big night is Thursday. We're away at Lyon,
and we're fretting. We're like, just come back with a positive result, please.
You know what I mean? And next Thursday, depending on, like you said, the result tomorrow. Next Thursday, that'll be a really big one, and we'll be up for it in a big atmosphere and. It's great, but like there is a difference, isn't there? You know what I mean?
Massive difference.
Their thing is they're going to the Bernabeu on Wednesday with a 3-0 lead, and they're just like, right, get through. They're in the Champions League semi-final, which they don't do. No. That is massive.
And they will really fancy them. If they put out Real Madrid, you've got to fancy yourself. You do.
Oh, they'll be like,
even if you play PSG. PSG are amazing, but they already beat them in the league phase easily. I mean, I know PSG have got better since then, so they're a fantastic team. And that's assuming could be Villa. Who knows?
Yeah,
you never know.
Who knows?
Imagine Villa Arsenal over 2 legs in the semi-final. Arsenal be rubbing their hands.
Do you know what was so depressing last night, Flex? Is that thing of like, right, confirmed, 5th spots in the Premier League. We'll get a Champions League spot. And it'd be like, that's good if we were anywhere fucking near it. No, we're not, though, are we? We're just not even in. Like last season, I know we finished 8th in the end, but that'd given us a little bit of hope. Like, actually, maybe, we could sort of just, nowhere near. Not even in the conversation.
And for many, many months, that's not even been a possibility. For many months, it's been make sure you get that Europa. Make sure you get that Europa League because there's nothing else. Red Brown says, Aminor loves the name Rasmus, spelt in that way. I wonder why. 906. Terence Pace says, shout out, Terence, see here every morning, bro. Says, I won't believe a single word coming out of the media until I see the man shirt in hand and signature on paper. Until then, it's all waffle for me. Yeah, good luck going through the transfer window, Terence.
Yep, you can join us on the transfer view in the summer every morning, 9 a.m. on a weekday, and select episodes when breaking news happens. Yes,
Terence, you may as well not watch another show until September or whatever, because it's going to be a long summer for you, bro. Matt, but I respect it. Matt says both Gyökeres and Osimhen are the same age and price. Target both to apply pressure on Sporting and Napoli to make it easier on us to negotiate. #leverage. So there you go. You got Terence saying, till I see someone holding up a shirt, mate, I'm out of here. You've got Mac, who's basically sorting out the deal. He's sorting out the structure of what to do to entice these players. Uncle Somi says, hope you know 180k after tax is 340 weekly. There you go. That's what Owen was alluding to. And D Witness says, big up UV every time. Lads, how likely is it that the lap briefings are a smokescreen for leverage and negotiations for a world-class striker? A few people are onto this one. Nah, they're not really in for the lap. They're just saying they are, so they don't just show interest and get the pants pulled down for the big fees.
I mean, no, usually I'm not big on the whole smokescreen 4D chess. We did kind of see it last summer, in fairness. You remember a few times when like with the De Ligt and Mazraoui one and with the Ugarte one, remember, United were willing to walk away. We are walking away from this deal.
Craig David
and there are other targets, and we ended up signing. Who do we sign? We ended up signing Ugarte. We ended up signing De Ligt. That's what we do. That's what we do. It's the kid threatening to walk away and leave home and never return, and then they're back in time for tea. That's basically what we did. But one thing you can say, and this is different from the old regime, is that you look at Dorgu in January, and you look at De Ligt, to an extent Ugarte, but certainly Dorgu and De Ligt. They got what they were looking to pay. They got the value they were looking to pay. I remember towards the end, just even days before the Dorgu one, we got like a here we go, and yet there's been a breakthrough, blah blah blah. They were like, oh, Man United are going to pay like £40 million for Patrick Dorgu. They've caved into Lecce's valuation, and it wasn't in the end. It was like 25, wasn't it? So it says a lot. And it's funny how football works and how it goes from week to week, because initially it was, Flex, if we can get 10 Dorgus, in the summer, we can get 10 Dorgus, that kind of valuation, well, that's going to be good. Now, a few weeks later, we're going, we need to spend money. We need to spend money. Pay whatever you need. And again, I think it goes back to, I just think it's the panic, because particularly after nights like last night, when you see another English team batter the European champions, and then tonight, another English team are going to be playing a big Champions League match. There's envy, there's jealous, there's sort of, you realize, because I watched the game last night, and I think everyone did, and you just go, my team doesn't do this.
No,
my team doesn't do this.
Levels, yeah, exactly.
My team,
that's what I was thinking about. Yeah,
I don't experience this. I don't have these like big moments or these big nights, and even when we did like last year with the FA Cup final, like it was a big day, but when we were shocked and we were like, well, that's not sustainable. We're not. This isn't good.
But the 3 times we played Arsenal this season, well, we've played them 4 now, isn't it? But the times under Ruben where we've played them twice.
Twice
times.
under Ruben.
Twice under Ruben, sorry.
Yeah.
So what happened in twice under Eric?
We played them.
We played them 3 times this season. We played them 3 times this season.
Yeah.
2-0 under Ruben, and then 0-0 at 1-1 at our place.
All under
we
Ruben.
beat them in the FA Cup. All under Ruben, right? So,
yeah.
But in those 3 games we've played against Arsenal with Ruben, even a 2-0 loss, you went set pieces. Apart from that, it was all right. It was all right in that game. FA Cup went 1-0 up. Doing all right. Dalot does something stupid, changes the whole complex of the game. Still win it on pens. Hang on in there. And then, like you say, the one at home, I wouldn't say battered them, but just comfortably the better team. Should have won 3-1. But that's a team of that level. So, but then you go, so if we can find that against good teams, do you know what I mean? When we played against Liverpool 2-2, toe-to-toe, pretty much, let's face it. I know it's the shittest version of City there's been in years, so they can't get too carried away, but beat them at their place. Again, enough chances to beat them or looking more likely to beat. You can find something against the bigger teams, but against the smaller teams, you're not seeing it. I mean, we're not scoring goals. But are you seeing we're seeing an improvement in terms of the setup and the structure and the organization? Definitely, the identity. We're seeing a big improvement in that. But that's why, again, just before we move off of this Osimhen thing, that's why I'm like, I don't want to cut corners at this bit. I don't want to cut corners at this bit because I think it can set us back. I think it can set us back again because this structure is good. Players looking like they're understanding more what's going on. We've got a manager with a really clear idea. All of this stuff, it's a really clear idea. I have one idea. This is my idea, and it's clear. Yeah, we know all of that. But if we don't get the pieces for the puzzle that are the right quality, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I don't want us to cut corners.
And also the differences. So, like you mentioned, those games against Arsenal that we've played this season, all of them, even though we only won one of them, and that was on penalties, all of them, we come out of them and go, pretty happy with that today. I think we've done all right, actually. I think we've done okay. Mentality. Whereas conversely, Arsenal come out of all of those games going, that's really disappointing. We should be battering them. Man United are rubbish. Like we're playing below, and we can do it occasionally. But with Arsenal, there's a consistency there, isn't there? I mean, for all of the sort of stuff you can say about Arteta trophies, hasn't won, Arsenal bottlers, blah blah blah. We would. Like if we got the opportunity to we can swap with Arsenal at the moment, we would. We'd be like, finishing in top 4, consistently last couple of seasons, going into the deeper stages of the Champions League. Yes, that's where we would be. But that's the difference. We're not consistent, and occasionally for those one-off games, we can show up for a bit, But it's just the gap is massive.
Not consistent enough.
Absolutely,
the gap's huge. The gap we can't even. The gap's huge between us and like Villa and that, and Newcastle. Yeah. You know what I mean? The gap's huge. Newcastle, of which we have next in the Premier League, which we don't even. That's just so. Do you know what I mean? It's so irrelevant, and that's one where okay, guys. Just don't talk about it. It's going to be like minimum 2-0. So just leave that. Never know, though. Might nick a draw or some shit. Never know.
If anything comes out, if we got like a draw, we'd be like, oh, bloody hell, I wasn't expecting that. Oh, thanks. Yeah, good. No, not bad.
We've got nearly 1,000 people watching. Good show this morning. Good energy, good vibes. We've got 221 likes. So you lot know what we're going to be aiming for and pushing for. We need to raise that. Way above 300 minimum. So let's get 300 in the bag and push on for that. Share the video, let people know you're watching, drop it in your WhatsApp groups, share it online that we're live. Let's get to over 1,000 people watching as well and take it from there. Right, Nemanja Matic speaks. He's been speaking.
Yeah, it's always interesting when stuff like this happens, isn't it? So, of course, because we're playing Lyon tomorrow, God, I haven't even my mind's not even taking itself there that much. We need to do a preview, by the way. We need to do a preview.
The game's tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah,
we do.
So he plays for Lyon now, and he's been talking about his time at Manchester United, and once again, he doesn't make for the best reading.
Nope.
as is always the case. On his time at Manchester United, he said, "We did our best every single year, the players, the coaches. In my first year, we finished second. We were leading in January, but Man City won. We finished second, sixth, third, second, and sixth. We played in the Europa League, Super Cup, FA Cup finals. We played Champions League in 4 of my 5 seasons, but we didn't win. If I compare how we did with United now, then we did great. But of course, United cannot be happy finishing second. United need to be winning leagues. We gave it our best, and sometimes we'd get criticized, but I didn't see any major problems in the club. The organization was very good. The conditions perfect. So that's quite positive. Yeah. When comparing his time at Manchester United to Chelsea, though, he said, the difference I felt after Chelsea was that at Chelsea, everything was about the result and winning trophies. That was the spirit in the whole club, even from the man who cuts the grass. Roman Abramovich would only ask us about results. At United, it was more commercial-minded. I started to think that after a couple of months at the club. I understand that our salary needs to be paid, but I felt the results were not the focus like it was at Chelsea. I maybe did 2 commercial jobs at Chelsea. At United, it was far more. I arrived at United with the anger to win trophies like I had at Chelsea, but step by step, I started to feel that trophies were not the focus. Maybe I'm not right, but that was my feeling inside. He also then spoke about him not being starting in the Europa League final under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He said that Solskjaer even told him it was a mistake. He said, quote, yes, he told me that. He was not wrong, but I also felt we deserved to win that game anyway. Now, from this distance, people realized that Ole was good for the club, but it wasn't just him. Kieran McKenna was an excellent coach. Michael Carrick, Martin Pert too. Darren Fletcher was close to us also. They all had an amazing chemistry, and I'm sorry they didn't have more chance at the club, but football is like this. So some interesting comments there from Nemanja Matic. It's kind of like he's talking out both sides of his mouth a little bit because well, the start is good. There was nothing wrong with the club. There's nothing wrong with the club. No issues. And then he goes, it's about a bit more commercial focus. It wasn't about results.
Unraveled.
Well, that's a problem. That's a problem, then, isn't it? Yeah. He's very complimentary of Ole there, and he does raise a point. And this is what people sort of go to now when they do the whole Ole revisionism stuff, whether it's revisionism or not. When he sort of goes, well, during my time there, I've finished second a couple of times, finished third, finished fourth, sixth a couple of times, which at the time it wasn't great because Manchester United, but now we'd take any of those where we're finishing in the league, wouldn't we? Going even sixth, we'd be like,
stabilised. Fair play, Ruben. You got us going again. Finished 8th last year. Tell you what, incremental change.
Let alone second in the Champions League. So, but then others will point out that was just papering over cracks that have been getting bigger and bigger over time, and it's this is where we've led it up to being today. This is the problem of being too commercial focused. It's not sustainable.
No, it's not.
What do you make of what he's saying?
Those quotes was on United District, isn't it? Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that first bit again. He said everything was fine, but it started to unravel. There's a certain look. We always know Man United is a different level to every other single club, every club, and it doesn't matter what player comes here. They always speak of how different it is, for good or for bad. But there's a default setting that it doesn't matter about results. Just the club, which is what you talk about a lot, and we all talk about, of being in this institution. It's different. It's different. Of course, we're United by name, rather than by how good we are anymore. But that by name still means a lot. It means we're as shit as this. We're still about to go to Kuala Lumpur day after the season ends to go and play football for the masses. Because
8 million,
money,
8 million quid. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Which don't sound like a lot in the grand scheme of things, but it's for the commercial side of it. Man United still get record deals with Adidas. We ain't won a Premier League title for what? 10 years?
Closing
12
13.
years? What is it?
13.
13 years. Going on 13.
Yeah.
When was it? 13 we won, innit? So
yeah.
Jesus. Oh my God. And it's nearly 2026. Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah.
Essentially. So yeah, nearly going on 13 years, but still getting massive shirt deals with Adidas as one of the biggest sponsors, still getting Snapdragon, big deals, all of these things, side shirt sponsor, because of its Man United. Then that just means straight away, obligation-wise, when players sign here, they will have to do a lot more media than at their previous club. Look, ask Ruben. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just a different level. So when he started to understand that, of course, the difference in club, but that emphasis on, but it ain't about trophies, though. And that's what I'm saying. Man United of yesteryear had both of those things on lock. It's about winning on the pitch. It's about getting good players. It's about progressing. It's about winning the top honours. But we also have to fulfill all of the stuff that, we have to do commercially. And he felt like Man United were only focused on that. And listen, with Ed Woodward at the helm, we were. Of course we were. That's exactly what we were. That's what he was good at. That was his forte, the commercial side of it. But in terms of... No, in terms of what he's saying, and look at Roman Abramovich, what he was on as an owner, 100%. That's it. That's all he's on. That's all he's.
Chelsea fans are still complaining about it now, aren't they? They're saying that's part of the problem with Chelsea now, is they're not focused on just winning. Now, obviously, an argument could be made with Roman that Chelsea, because of Roman Abramovich's desire to win in the past, they're in trouble. Like the new owners had to self-report the club, didn't they, to the Premier League over past financial stuff and what have you, because they were bending the rules so that they could win. So I don't. In fact, blame Woodward for not getting this guy said a 2 million. Ollie wanted him. Do you know what is funny with that stuff? Because obviously with Rice scoring last night, they're like, "Oh man, Ollie wanted Declan Rice." I swear. So, when Haaland was getting his record-breaking goals in the Prem a couple of seasons ago, Ollie wanted Haaland, mate. Or when Jude was doing his thing at Dortmund, first season at Madrid, could have had Jude. He was walking around Carrington. Yeah. Ollie wanted him. They're like,
but the bigger context on that is that Ollie's come out and lifted the lid on those things, though, and said that's actually how it went down. Like we brought Drew to Carrington, mate. We showed him Sir Alex, Eric Cantona. He was there.
He's like, even before I was United manager, I called up United because he had Haaland at Mulder and was like, got to sign this player. Got to get him.
Yeah.
Got to get him.
So
thanks, Ollie. Thanks, Ollie. Yeah.
At least he tried.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that. Okay, cool. No problem.
Didn't hear nothing back.
Mad,
it's mad. It's mad. And it's true. Like, Ollie did do them things. And if he would have got them, Eric Ten Hag did want Harry Kane. He wanted Harry Kane. That's who he wanted to get.
Yeah.
The Glazers didn't make it happen. And so it always goes back to the penny pinching, the not wanting to do the things at the right time. Of course, we spent over £1 billion, like we say, Richard Arnold settings, burning through cash, all of that. So it's not like we haven't spent money, but we do think so weirdly. We've spent the money wrong completely, but then when there is the right thing to do to actually spend a lot, he's going to cost you 100 and get him. It's Harry Kane. Do you know what I mean? It's just mad. It's mad.
Yeah, but I mean, when they go, oh yeah, but Eric Ten Hag wanted Harry Kane. It's like going, I wanted Sabrina Carpenter.
Yeah, couldn't get him.
Not gonna happen.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
not gonna really,
But then people were saying the money you spent on Rasmus, you could have added on a top of a thing and then go get him.
There's lots of things you can want, but it doesn't really.
Yeah, you're not always going to get it. Doesn't excuse all of the shit that he did do.
No, exactly.
Yeah. Nah,
exactly.
I hear that. I do hear that. We are at 300. Are we at 300 yet? 200, 267. Come on, Peeps, raise that. I know you lot can do it. We're nearly at 1,000 watching live as well. Sabrina Carper ain't really much. It really ain't much. Says Macish as well. Says bad example, that one. Bad example. I know Dallo was talking as well. He's basically, I mean, when the players are talking, it's less, doesn't really. Yeah, the players, and Dallo's going to be in the presser this evening as well in Lyon. But Dallo was more just talking about just trying to be positive, really, saying we've got.
Have you let yourself think about tomorrow that much? Have you let yourself think about it that much? It's kind of crept up on me. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, I'm just doing the whole. Me personally, I'm just doing the whole. We have to just be positive and all of us lock in together. Just everyone on the same page. No infighting, no going at each other in the comments and this, that, and the other. We need 100% positivity. Serious. Like
that's what KG's doing.
That's what I'm saying. Do. I'm with him.
Yeah.
I'm with him all the way. No, but KG, you said, but you were saying that no, not trying to point score and all of that shit. We just Baron saying let's fight each other. Nah, bro, we need to. We've seen the levels that's out there in Europe and how far away we are from it. We're just little minnows just trying to scrape a win. Look at Lacazette on the thumbnail. 2025. It's April 2025. I thought when I saw Lacazette leave Arsenal and sort of just go down the, getting older now. What's he, 34-ish? I didn't ever think I'd see him again in this context where I'm like, he's about to play against my team. And I'm like, don't you dare even think of doing any. I don't want no lack of blood clot set. All the old school stuff coming back from what? What years was that? 2018, 2017? 2017 prime?
17,
18.
Yeah, maybe. Even by 18, it was a bit like...
It played out by then.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, he was under Emery there.
Yeah.
Was he bought by Wenger? That last bit?
Yeah. He bought in 2017, so yeah, he would have been bought by Wenger, wouldn't he?
Yeah. So so there you go. He was bought in 2017. There you go. So for them couple of years, that 17 to 19 period was peak Lacazette. Do you know what I'm saying? That was 5 years ago, mate. 5-6 years ago. So I ain't trying to see that.
Looking at this now, he signed a 5-year deal with Arsenal for a club record fee. Leon disclosed the fee was £46.5 million. That was a club record fee at the time.
It's gone back there, yeah.
That was a club record fee at the time. 46.5 million pounds. They've spent 100 million on Declan Rice. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Exactly. So I someone said, does Matic start games as well? By the way, I just took a quick look at that. Yes, he does. He starts pretty much all of them. He's made 24 league appearances. Of them 24 league appearances, 21 of those were starts. And I'm looking at the minutes played in them games. I'm seeing 86, 87, 88, 83, 90, 90, 82, 90, 75, 90, 90, 86, 74, 78. So when he does start as well, he plays the majority of the game. Of course, there's a few ones in there where he's been subbed in or played 20 minutes here or there, but most of them are the majority of the game. So that would suggest to me that he's a big part of what they do. And when we was on Inside Devils yesterday, there was a piece done by Ange with Andy Brazel, European Football Expert, talking about Lyon. And he gave us an insight. And he's saying, listen, Man United got a chance. He wasn't, I'll be honest, I've gone and done some journalism. I'll bring back to you what the report is. He wasn't doing the whole Man United. Tell you what, you guys don't understand how serious Lyon are. You have no idea what you're about. It wasn't that. It wasn't as far as that. He did say Man United absolutely have a chance because, they possess Bruno Fernandes, he said. But he said when they were vulnerable in San Sebastian after they conceded that penalty in that 20-minute period, he said Lyon possess attacking players that can change the tie in a period, like in flashes of 20 minutes, they could be on you, all out attack, wingers flying, doing a lot, and that could just change the tie in those moments. But it's a very evenly matched game. He said it'd be very tight.
Well, what is evenly matched is you and your camera focus. You and your camera focus have constant, battles. But Do you know what it was? People were watching that game when they played, was it Strasbourg recently, Leon? And then after watching that, people were like, they're not amazing, you know. They're not that good, you know. But it doesn't matter, does it? Like we just pointed out, we should have beat Arsenal at least. Well, we've beaten Arsenal on penalties. We should have beaten them when we play them at home. Like in those kind of one-off matches, it doesn't matter, does it? Like, you know, the important thing, particularly with European football, first leg is away from home, second leg is at home. That's a positive for us. You always want to have your second leg at home. That's the reason why with Arsenal against Real Madrid, people are still kind of cautious to say Real Madrid are out. They're 3-0 down. But it's Bernabeu, Real Madrid, European football, anything can happen. And anything can happen. So the aim for tomorrow should be just make sure you're staying in the game into the second leg. Obviously, it'd be great to be 2-3-0 up and then be like, right, game over. But even if a bit like when we played Real Sociedad and it's a draw, fine, no problem. Win it second leg at home. Do that. If we can make it just completely calm, completely cool going into that second leg, that would be nice, wouldn't it? With how much we have riding on the Europa League this season. I mean, this is quarterfinal. Imagine we get actually like legitimately far.
Like, yeah, this ain't actually that far yet.
The nerves would be on another level.
Well,
like
playing Athletic Club, which we're assuming they'll beat Rangers over 2 legs. You never know. Rangers have been under Barry Ferguson.
Yeah,
Jesus, they've been crazy. Knocked out Fenerbahce in that, mate. So you can't write them off. But you'd assume it would be Athletic Club to go through. It's I don't know. It's even that in the semi-finals. Like, Spain. It's not easy, mate. It's not easy. Yeah. So yeah, but like I said, the preview is coming up very, very shortly. So check that out later on the channel. 100% Owen says Herb Green as well. 100%. We've got 286 likes, nearly at the 300 peeps. Come on, until we get to the next topic, which is Ruben Amadine. Yeah, please smash a like on the video. Get us over 300 likes. It really, really helps the channel out with the algorithms, etc. And we're over 1,000 people watching live as well, which is good. It was just a quick one. Ruben's obviously about to play a game, so it's interviews galore. Little bit of stuff coming out. He's basically agreed with Gary Neville and saying his comments were fair, etc. I quote Ruben Amorim on robotic football. Football. Let me open that up all the way. Actually, football has evolved. You can like it or not, but there has been an evolution. You have all the details of your opponent's matches so you can understand their movements better. You have to be better tactically. I sometimes talk to Darren Fletcher about how he used to prepare matches with Sir Alex Ferguson, and it's completely different. Today, individual talent is not enough. It's not enough. So that's a really interesting answer, actually, because he's accepting that, yes, and this is why it's more robotic. You know, I even look at how it was done before, back in the day with Fletcher and the way he explains it. But him saying individual talent is not enough is big, because that is basically saying you can't just have these individuals that are really expressive and just go rely on them to win you football matches, which ironically we do to Bruno. just rely on him to do it. But it's interesting what he's saying. Oh, also he says, one second, hold on, wait a minute. On the criticism from Gary Neville, or pundits like Gary Neville, he says, with the season we're having, you have to accept it. Sometimes you don't like hearing that at the end of a game because you're really trying to change things. But in hindsight, you understand what he's saying.
Yeah, well, it's interesting, isn't it, when it comes to the, just having talented players isn't good enough, because that was the thing with Real Madrid, wasn't it? Of going, well, Ancelotti doesn't have that much of a plan, just kind of tells the players go out there, play football. And it's been praised, isn't it, the last few years, because obviously they've won trophies doing it. But like with the last night of Arsenal, a lot of people said, well, maybe you do need a plan, particularly if you're not, the great team that you were in years prior or something like that. Problem is with us, we don't have good players or a good team, and they can't execute.
That was good.
They can't execute the plan. So yeah, but when it comes to tomorrow, I'm with you, Flex. I'm feeling a bit optimistic. Some would say
we're gonna do this.
That's how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
Over 2 legs
for a positive result. Back to Old Trafford. I'm not sure about winning there.
Over 2 legs, maybe not necessarily, but over 2 legs.
We're gonna do this.
That's how I'm feeling. That's how I'm feeling.
if we can get back with, because you know sometimes you build these games up and sometimes like, oh, we won 2-0, like we're in a great position, like surely we're going to go through. I'd love to have that going into
doesn't it?
Yeah,
that happens just quite a bit when we go. Well, we'll play the game, not so much this season, but like in the past, we'll play the game and we'll win. We'll go. Of course, we should win.
It changes, isn't it? Why was I scared?
That's actually been all this season in the Europa League where we go, we're not going to win that one, and then we win the game, so we lost, and we go. Oh, of course, that team's rubbish. Like, and you look at the rest of the teams in this competition, you go, they're not very good. They're not very good, but we're also not good. We just don't, we're still just not certain just how bad we really are.
Right, I think back to traveling out to Porto, and the way we threw away that game and Harry Maguire rescued that header. And like that, when you were saying that infamous, I'm in the mix zone and I'm trying to shout quietly.
I'm absolutely fuming in here. I'm absolutely livid in here right now. Erik ten Hag, you've got blood on your hands. I think they're coming, but I'm just sick of this. It was the ultimate flex voice.
Ultimate flex voice, because in there again, it's etiquette, isn't it? There's other. It's less that. Oh my God, Eric might hear me saying it, and more that you got the big broadcasters setting up their stuff, and I can't have some crazy lunatic fan over there doing, match reactions, just cussing out everyone. So, Owen, journalist, mate. Yeah, I'm journalist.
He's got to go, blood. He's got to go.
Wait there. Hold on. Wait a minute. Oh no, I've had a stinker. Oh no. I've spilt the water everywhere. Oh no. Oh, it's everywhere. Oh no, don't go down the back of there. The M4 Fizzy. Owen, take over, bro. Nah, real talk. Oh my god. Emergency. Oh my day. Is this plugged in? I don't think it's plugged in. I need to show you.
Go get something to wipe it up with. Get something to wipe up. Go get something to wipe it up with.
I am. I'm just.
You're just grabbing water.
Wait there. Oh, Owen, carry on.
I am. Go get something to wipe up with. Oh, bloody hell. I mean, this is what I mean. This is fletnology. This is fletnology. You think fletnology might be stuff like technically going wrong, but he's, he'll knock water over. He just, that's what happens.
Oh, my days. Jeez. Mad thing. Carry on. Just getting more tissue.
Don't ever have an open receptacle next to a computer. Always the top on. And I wonder what he was trying to do as well, because he was trying to do some kind of. Well,
I was trying to be smart, and it's quite silly what I was trying to do. Really, well, not silly. It's just because they were within arm's reach, but I forgot the bottle of water was there. Oh, hold on, full fizzies and tap. All I was trying to do was grab these. Oh, I can't even do it. They're all hanging up on the thing. I was just basically, because all my flex, forget it. Just forget it, mate. Just leave it. Just leave it. Behind there, hanging on my lights, is all my media passes. So I was trying to show off SJA, journalist, mate. Look, here's all the passes there. Look, I was trying to. Then I knocked just.
And the irony is, then you knocked all your water over, and
like not all of it.
Journalist,
quite a bit left. So.
Red Baron says flex crash out percentage chances.
Come on, man. You lot said that about you. Hold on, wait a minute. Hold on, wait a minute. You lot all said I'll do that against Forest. Didn't do it, mate. Didn't do it.
You're close.
I told you I'm not on that.
You're close.
Yeah, that was only in one moment. I think Dorgu did something that was annoying, didn't he? That was just a quick. It wasn't a full-on head loss crash out.
Dorgu! No, it's fine.
That's literally where it was as well. Anyway, right, we've read out all the super chats. We've read out everything. Close that bottle flex. I know, close the cap. All right, man. You lot, jeez. All right.
And you didn't even do it. You didn't learn your lesson as well.
Flipping it. All right, look, yeah, it's on. There you go. All right, cool.
I tell you what, I would have pissed myself if you done that. And I was upset.
Owen, you're just flipping it, Owen, man. You lot wishing badness on me like that.
All right, fine. Oh no.
Leon preview out later on. Big up to you guys. Full view later on as well, ahead of the big game tonight, which is Aston Villa taking on PSG in France as well.
Will there be reaction on the football flex?
There will be a reaction on the football flex. Shout out everyone who got involved. last night in the comments section and ran up the video, liked up the video. Road to 5K, you know what I mean? Yes, just get on there, scan the QR code right there and subscribe to the Football Flex. I've got big plans for it. And really looking forward to it as well. Really excited. It's actually it's just refreshing to basically watch some good football, then react to it. It feels weird, like, do you know what I mean? It felt really weird. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So and obviously if Arsenal would have lost, it would have been very different. Would have been laughing at them, but with what they did yesterday, couldn't laugh, mate. Just had to do the opposite. No. Just got to give the props. Just got to give the props.
Yeah.
But if they don't go through, or that game gets to 3-3 in this nervy times or something, but nah, not gonna happen.
I know I've seen some people sort of in the comments over there say, "Are you going to be doing live watch-alongs or whatever?"
Yeah,
stay tuned, mate.
Absolutely.
Tuned.
Yes, stay tuned. They will be happening very, very soon. So yes, stay tuned.
Yeah.
Right, peeps. We are out of here. Smash a like on the video and subscribe to Owen Wrestle News 365555555. Of course, as always, take care. Peace.